Good afternoon, everyone. How's it going? Windy here. Today I have a real good one for you guys. I know I always say this, but this one, it really hits jerk tofu sandwich. Shout out to RG Vegan. Great cookbook. I got it from there and I mixed it up a bit. So, like, I'm not going to waste any time. Let's get to it. Like the name says, jerk tofu sandwich. So you're going to have some jerk, so you're going to have some jerk paste here. I have about a tablespoon here. I have some firm. I have a block of firm tofu. I already cut up a few because I'm going to be making a few of these. But you can slice this how you want. So here I have it more like a cheese slice, and you can make it as thick as you want. We're going to have some plantains. I have some fried shallots. So the actual tofu itself is going to be baked. So I already have our oven going at 400 degrees. So that's preheating as we make the sauce. So I'm gonna add 4 tablespoons of maple syrup. So again, don't stress. I'm gonna have the full measurement in the description. So I'm just gonna be going a bit fast. So if I miss anything, don't worry with it. I'm gonna stir this here. And be mindful, like for those who are not familiar with jerk seasoning, it's very spicy. Um, I apologize. You can watch it again, but my little guy, he's in the back watching Paw Patrol. But like what I was saying with the jerk season, this one is very hot. You want to get a mild jerk season for those of you who are not familiar with it, because like this really hit. It really hits. So, but it's one of my favorite. But for you beginners, like keep it mild. And if you like a challenge, just hit it with the spicy one. So I'm gonna go with 1 tablespoon here, and this is thyme. Gonna mix it. So mix the sauce. So as you can see, and this is gonna be like delicious. So it's basically sweet and spicy. We're gonna add 2 tablespoons of ketchup. All right, one. I'm gonna mix this up here. Like I mentioned, the oven is already preheated. I keep mixing it. Move this. So we're just gonna cut up our tofu. Gonna cut a few of these. As you can see how I have it, just basically blocks. I'm gonna do blocks of strips. You're gonna be putting it. We're gonna be putting it on a sourdough bread, so it's nothing too complex. Just gonna bring it over here. Prepare our tofu, but in the meantime, I'm just gonna heat up the pan. So, because we're gonna be cooking our plantains, I'm gonna add some oil to this. I'm gonna add some oil here. So we're gonna be cooking our plantains and our shallots in some oil. So I just want to get that going. I'm just gonna bring this down here. As you can see, like the tofu strips, I'm just gonna add these to the. Oh, this one's a bit too thick, so I'm gonna add these here. Just gonna add these to our pan, and then we're gonna add our jerk seasoning. Let's see. And this cooks pretty fast, guys. So I'm going to be baking this at 400 for 20 minutes. And 10 minutes in, I'm going to actually flip these and then baste it again. But as you can see, add more jerk seasoning. But again, like I warned, the ones who are not familiar with jerk seasoning, you definitely want to keep an eye on the heat when you buy it. So stick to the mild. But hey, if you love it, hit the spicy one. So yeah, as you can see, this is like pretty well based for what it is. I'm gonna put it in for 10 minutes. And then we're gonna get on our plantains and our shallots. Yeah, so while our tofu is in, so we got our sauce, we got our shallot. So we're just gonna cut our plantain. So this is just gonna be regular plantain slice. Anyone who's familiar with fried plantains, you wanna catch like the corner, little edge here. It makes it so much easier to split. So you want to splice here, you're gonna go back, splice here, and then Voila. So you just splice the actual edges. Makes this very easy. And again, you're just gonna slice this very thin. Because I'm only gonna add about 2 to 3 of these. But again, I'm gonna be making a few. So you just wanna slice your plantains. And the pan is already heating. Yep, all right guys, we're gonna put our plantains in. Gonna get this going. No specific time. Like I find plantains are very weird. You just need to watch it. So I'd go about like a minute on each side and like flip back and forth. But like anyone knows a plantain, like the moment like you you take your eyes off it, it starts to burn. So this is gonna focus right here. I'm just gonna put our plantains in. See where that go. And you don't want to like crowd it too much. Again, and also I didn't mention, so it's not any plantain. So these are like very ripe, sweet plantain. So like green plantains with this recipe would not work because here we just want like the nice juicy sweetness, like natural sugar from this. So we got it here. We're just gonna keep an eye on it, and then we're gonna work on our shallots. No specific technique for this. I just kind of like dice up about 6 small shallots to get this. And this is going to be like stir fry golden. So again, nothing specific. I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, some salt. And this is optional for those of you who don't like shallots. But again, I love me some fried shallots. Yeah. And from here on, basically, you're just manning like these 2 stations. So like I'm only manning the plantains and the shallot while we're waiting for our tofu to cook. So just gonna stir this a bit, and then we can check on the tofu. Hey everyone, I'm not sure it went down to this section, but my audio completely went out. I didn't notice, but yep, just to keep it moving. So essentially everything is done. Our plantains are done. Our shallots are cooked. The tofu, I cooked it. Total cook time was 25 minutes. So I went back in, I flipped them, I basted tofu with the jerk sauce we had made, and then completely cooked it for about 25 minutes, just checking on it and pour all the sauce there. And I mentioned at the beginning, so we're using a sourdough bread, but again, whatever bread you can get, so sourdough or rye bread or whatever bread where you can get large slices, because again, we're gonna add a lot of stuff to this. So whatever you can get your hands on, just go ahead with. So here I had toasted two slices of the bread, added some mayo. But again, spicy mayo is something I've tried with this as well. So whichever one you can get your hands on. So I added some spinach. This again, not something that's optional. Is you can use spinach, you can use lettuce, whatever green leaf vegetable you have at your disposal. I went with spinach here. I just love me some spinach. Again, good nutrients, protein, fiber. Then I'm gonna grab our plantains. We're gonna grab our tofu here. So these are thick slices. So it's based on your preference. So if you don't want it too big, you can actually just split this in half. So I went with the big slices, but the other ones I'm going to be using it for a completely different meal. So so the slice you see here, that's very up to your preference, how you want it. But I digress. So we added our and add some of our shallots here, and I cooked them pretty well. So again, that's something, it's based on your flavor. I love me some shallots. It's very sweet. With the shallots, I think I had showed it only had black pepper and some salt, so you don't have to cook it down to this level if you don't like it, or you can leave it out. But I found it adds more sweetness in addition to the jerk seasoning. And here I added our plantains. Again, I mentioned you want very ripe plantains, while if you fry green plantains, it's gonna be a bit tougher to eat because it's gonna be more of a chip like crunch crunch texture, whereas like very ripe plantains are very sweet. They're going to caramelize. So, and then it goes down. Again, it's the flavor you're looking for. The flavor collides pretty well, and it's very delicious. And I went ahead and added some avocados. Again, that's one of the best parts. So this avocado was almost like it was semi-ripe. So it was ripe enough where I was like, it's soft, but not to the point where like it's going bad. So like soft, sweet, and I topped it off with some hemp hearts. Let's add some extra protein and fiber. But again, guys, sorry for the audio. Thank you for watching the video. But again, this is a very, very good lunch. You can meal prep it for a few days. But yeah, like just give it a try. Let me know what you think in the comments, and then see you in the next video.